Hi friends, I'm Stephanie Hansen. Let's go! I've been cooking, eating, and talking about it for years.
This is amazingly good.
Now I'm inviting you along for the ride. You seem like you're pretty adventurous about food. Meet the chefs, home cooks, restaurateurs, and bakers honing their crafts. Oh, look at that technique. And try new recipes with me in my kitchen. It's simple, it's easy, that looks amazing. There's always something delicious to share. This is Taste Buds. Hey Taste Buds, happy St. Patrick's Day. We are having such a great show today. We are gonna be going to our friend Shelagh Mullen's house and we are gonna be cooking all things Irish. So we're gonna make colcannon, we're gonna make mussels. We are going to make lots of delicious Irish food. But before we do that, we are here at Redlocks, the home of the Irish whiskey that my friend Kieran Folliard makes. He's in the food building here in Northeast Minneapolis. We're gonna learn about his whiskey, we're gonna make a couple whiskey drinks, and we're gonna have a really fun St. Patrick's Day. Taste Buds, we have a great show in store. Let's go. Hi Taste Buds, how you doing? I am so excited to be here. I'm here with my friend Kieran, I'm here with Kathy. And Kieran, you are the founder of Redlocks Irish Whiskey.
That is correct.
This is the World Whiskey Award winner. It got gold for blended whiskey. What makes whiskey Irish? Because I don't even really know. Like, are there non-Irish whiskeys? There's like Kentucky bourbon.
Sure.
So is there something specific that's like an Irish whiskey from another type of whiskey?
It has to be distilled and aged on the island of Ireland.
Oh, it really
for
does.
3 years. This is a more complex whiskey. It's aged 4 to 6 years, and it's got uniquely for Irish 15% age in virgin oak like bourbon. And then we've got a sherry cask finish and a rye cask finish in there. That's why we win gold medals.
Yes.
But yet it is still affordable.
How would you describe the smell? Because to me, it's like vanilla-y. It's not burny.
No, vanilla oaky.
A little smooth. That sherry, just tiny bit.
It's good.
I know. This is how I want to
Cheers.
drink it. I don't even need the cocktail part.
As I like to say,
cilantro.
As I like to say, it has a taste of more of it.
It's very delicious. You can just sip it. I like to sip whiskey.
I do too, but I also love it in an Irish mule. It's one of my favorite drinks all year round.
And normally a mule is made with vodka.
Yeah, but they were making
Usually?
an Irish mule, so we're just gonna do 2 ounce pour. You can do a heavy pour, a light pour, depending on your day, time, all that.
Well, let's just go.
We do the heavy pour. And then as easy as that is, we're just gonna top it with some ginger beer. And then a fresh lime, a squeeze in.
I always feel bad putting your whiskey in cocktails because it is such a nice sipper too.
It's a beautiful
wanna try
sipper,
it?
so it is. But I think the fact that it has the rye cask finish in it and the virgin oak, the whiskey still stands up in a cocktail.
Okay, so we'll be the judge of that.
Right, let's see.
Whoa. Boozy.
There goes the day. There goes the day.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it's 5 o'clock in Ireland, so.
Okay, that makes me feel better, Kathy.
I know.
Thank you. No, it's very delicious. We have the pepperiness, because ginger beer can be kind of peppery, but then you also have the smoothness of the whiskey, the citrus of the lime. I like how it's kind of all coming together, but it's mellow. Like there's a lot of booze in here, but it doesn't feel like a firebomb or like this burny, Sometimes when you drink whiskey that's not so great, it's burny.
I find it refreshing as well.
Partly it's the cup too and the straw, and
Yeah,
it feels
the whole
super festive.
vibe.
You want to have fun, festive drinks.
Just picture on a boat drinking this in the summertime.
Or sailing in the Caribbean.
Are looking out to sea.
Looking. Kieran, are you out there? Okay, what is our next drink we're gonna make?
Jerry's going to come in.
Jerry's coming in to make us the second drink. Hi, Jerry. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, I am so good. And you are gonna make me a fancy Irish coffee. Yes.
Coffee, yes, best time of year to have it as well. Here we have just a regular glass or a coffee cup if you have it at home, but a spoon of brown sugar preferably, Demerara sugar. You put that in first, and then you top it up with some hot coffee.
Is it weird to want you to just talk to me and say Demerara sugar?
It's a thick Donegal accent. Give it a fairly kind of heavy stir to melt the sugar in there. And then the most important part, A good heavy pour of Redlock's Irish whiskey.
I'm sensing a trend here. Heavy pouring is used a lot.
And then you have some fresh cream here.
Going
and
full
just
cream.
pour it
Oh, look at this is fancy.
over the spoon.
Okay, so that's pretty. Look at how it's like the cream is blending. It's got a viscosity and a thickness to it by the way that you poured it over the back of the spoon. That's a little different.
Yep, and it kind of floats a little bit on the top. Yeah, it's super tasty.
Come on.
You're licking
You
your
can
lips,
do it.
and I'm like, oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, it smells so delicious. You can smell the coffee, the oakiness of the whiskey.
That fresh cream from a beautiful Irish cow.
Yeah.
That you milked this
Flew
morning.
over this morning.
This morning.
Oh, it's super delicious. Really smooth. Again, I keep saying smooth, but is that how people describe the whiskey?
It is, yeah. I mean, especially in a cocktail. The Redlocks is finished in a sherry cask, so that sweetness kind of stands out.
Okay, well, this St. Patrick's Day, do we have any good St. Patrick's limericks, lyrics, poems, wishes?
May we all be still here this time next year.
Oh,
Cheers to that.
yes,
Yeah.
Jerry.
Cheers. Sláinte.
Kieran.
Sláinte.
Sláinte.
Mine is gone.
Wow, that was such a great day at Food Building. We learned all about Irish whiskey, and now we're gonna head to Shelagh Mullen's at SheCooks.Design, and we are gonna make some delicious Irish food. Come on, taste buds, let's go. Hi, taste buds. I'm here with Shelagh Mullen. She's a friend of mine, and she has a cooking class situation in her home in St. Paul. You can come, you can learn how to make different things like bread. She does pasta, she has cooking classes for kids. But Shelagh, you are very Irish.
Very Irish, yes.
Let's just talk a little bit about Irish food because I don't think people have a sense of like what that is.
Well, you know, there's the typical Irish food that you've heard about, boiled dinners and breads and, you know, which are all really not terrible in their own right. But Ireland's really had sort of a renaissance in their food. The entire coast is full of seafood and fish, and the cows only eat grass, and that's why they have that lovely yellow butter and the yellow
Yes.
cream and everything. So they've just really come into themselves.
What are we making today?
We are going to make brown bread,
Yum.
seedy brown bread, and then colcannon, which is a very common old dish, also with cabbage and potatoes, and garlicky Guinness mussels.
Yum, something from the sea, which you don't really originally think about when you hear Irish food.
Right.
I'm all about it. This bread looks like a health food store in a loaf.
Kind of, but it's delicious. So we've got some plain flour, which is just all-purpose flour.
Okay.
We're going to need to add 250 grams of wholemeal flour.
I have no idea.
So keep an eye on that because that's at 0.
Okay, and I have no idea 250 grams.
Right.
Like,
It's about 2 cups. And you know, there's little old grannies in Ireland didn't have a digital scale, so they probably just...
you're probably right about that.
You're going to use your hands for this.
Sheila gave me a good hand washing tutorial, but when we arrived,
You can put the oats in too.
there's a lot of texture in our flour here.
And now we can add some seeds, sunflower seeds and pumpkin.
Pepitas?
Yep, pepitas.
All of
pumpkin
them?
Seeds, yep.
Right.
And then you can add in the salt. And there's little chunks in a lot of baking soda, so you just want to smooth it out because you don't want to bite
That's
into a little chunk of.
Sheila hack right there.
And then we can mix that up again with your hands.
So much handwork.
Well, yeah.
And it smells so nutty and delicious.
Okay, so that's done. Beautiful.
Okay.
So now we've got our buttermilk, and we're going to add some treacle, which is basically molasses. We're going to get about a tablespoon or so. But a trick, because this is so sticky, is to put it in a hot water.
Sure.
So you can just sort of spoon it in. Like 2 of those. It's so thick, it's hard to work with.
It's beautiful though.
Yeah. There we go.
That's the brown of the brown bread, right?
Yeah,
That in
yeah.
our flour.
That in the flour, yeah. And then crack in our
in
egg
there.
and whisk it up.
This little whisk. You use it for eggs? Like, why don't I have one of
Yeah,
these?
eggs or dressing.
Okay, this looks good. This treacle, I want to make sure I get it all mixed in.
Yeah, sometimes I'll heat it up if the buttermilk's really cold. I'll heat it up, and we're going for a consistency. Make a little well in the center, and you're going to just want to use one hand to get this mixed. And you're going to use your hand like a claw. So your hand's going to turn into a whisk.
Okay.
And you're going to just get it all mixed in. It's really kind of fun.
Okay, so this is a one-hand pour
Choose
and
which hand you're going to use.
left. Okay. Ooh.
And you actually use your hand like a claw. So just keep your hand like this and just move around.
Okay.
Like this. Do this. And just keep it
Sheila.
and go like that.
All right, here we go.
And we're going to, I can
Hansen,
tell
get
already,
around here.
I can tell we're going to need more buttermilk.
Okay. So you can tell by the consistency that I have that it needed more.
Yeah, it's called drop consistency. When you pick up a little bit, how does it drop? Okay, we need a little bit more. We want it a little bit wetter.
Okay, this does feel a little looser.
Yep, and so then you can use your hand like a spatula. No, one hand.
Oh.
Just pick up the bowl and pop it right in there.
Okay. You need to have a certain amount of strength to hold the bowl and not break it.
Spread it out a little.
Okay,
With your
my hand again. All right.
And then we're just gonna put a little sprinkle.
Of the nut mixture on the top, okay?
And then pop it in the oven, 375. So for
we already had it preheated.
Yep, 375.
Is this the part where I can wash my hands,
You can
please,
go wash
teacher?
your hands. Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
All right, our brown bread is in the oven and we're moving on to the next dish, which is colcannon. But I would just like you to see Sheila's UGG gloves as seen on TV. We have these that we use for grilling. They're quite great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our potatoes boiling in here.
Yeah. So we peeled and then boiled with a few cloves of garlic to add some flavor. And then we strained everything. And now we can saute up the cabbage or kale. We're going to use kale today, but it could be either cabbage
Sure.
or kale in some good Irish butter.
Irish butter?
That's Irish butter,
Okay,
yes.
You know how you can tell because
Yes,
it's much
nice
oranger.
and yellow. Yep. And we'll get that melted down.
All right. Wah, wah, wah. Colcannon is what? Just potatoes?
Potatoes and cabbage and or kale, just thinly sliced.
And just a dinosaur kale.
Yep.
We learned in a previous episode how to say this. Lacinato.
Lacinato.
I always just called it dinosaur kale because I didn't know how to say the word.
Whenever I'm sauteing anything, I always add a little pinch of salt.
Okay, this is getting so beautiful and green.
It is so nice and green. I love it. So now we can put in scallions, the spring onions, to save some of those for the top too. And then we just add the potatoes back in, give them a mash, and add some buttermilk until they're kind of nice and creamy. I like it kind of chunky.
Okay,
So I go on the
chunky
chunk.
colcannon. Let's
Yep.
do it. We're feeling all Irish.
Uh-huh.
I look like I would be Irish. In fact, I
kinda
worked at a
do.
bar once and I made a lot of money on that St. Patrick's Day situation because they thought I was Irish. Just a few little mashes, but
Yeah.
not too
Yeah.
mashed potato consistency.
Right. So a good amount of salt.
And what would you, if you're in Ireland, what would you be eating this with?
You could eat it with a beef stew, or smoked salmon is really popular over there. Mussels, garlicky Guinness mussels.
I love
How's
it.
that? Now we're gonna add in some buttermilk, about a cup or so. Fresh cracked pepper, always.
This just looks chunky and hearty.
It's so good.
Oh, yum.
This is some chunky salt.
That was easy.
Give it a try.
Can we eat right out of the pan?
Of
Like,
course.
the butteriness of the mashed potato with the salt and the pepper, that little hint of acid from the buttermilk. But what's really nice is the vegetal kale aspects of how it's kind of bringing that potato into a little different space. Do we have anything else to shoot or? I do just love potatoes.
I do too.
And nutritionally, they're very filling, very hearty.
Yeah.
Is it bad that I'm still eating out of the La Crusade pot or colcannon? Thank God we're friends, Sheila. So Sheila, we've made the brown bread. We're waiting for that to come out of the oven. We've made the colcannon. Mussels are maybe not something people would think about as being Irish.
Yep, they grow a lot of mussels on the west, and they are very popular.
I think people are kind of afraid to cook with mussels a little bit. They are like live little mollusks.
Yep.
Sheila prepped a lot of these mussels, but we left a few that have the beard on it so you can see that. And what you do is you just struggle and pull it out because it wants to hold on to
You
it.
could use a paring knife too if you want.
I
And
like
if you-
the
if you
idea of
pull
just grabbing
towards-
it.
Towards the hinge there, it helps, like to pull it against, like
Got
that.
it. Okay.
It helps a little bit.
Now, what do you do if like, oh, this one's open?
Right, and that's cracked, so that's dead. If you tap it on the counter and it does not close up for you, then it's no good and you want to pitch it. And then once you cook them, sometimes there are some that don't open, and those you want to pitch too. So once they're cooked all the way, they open up.
Here's a little kind of half open one. So we're just gonna tap this little person on the counter. I guess you're not a person, you're a mussel. And see if they go and close up. There it goes. Do you see it? It's almost all the way closed now. Here's one more. It's pretty open. You can see like an alley in there. Okay, ready? Ready?
Yeah.
Yep. It is. But you know what? It's good to know where your food comes from. It's good to appreciate it. Have a moment with it before you cook it.
So we got a nice hot pan, and we're going to add in our butter. Ooh, turn it down a smidge. And then we'll just add in some chopped shallots.
Why shallots versus onions? Just
they're
subtler.
Just a little mild flavor. We're gonna have a lot of garlic in there, so. And then I just wrap up the thyme in, this is lemon thyme. That's what they had at the store, and some kitchen twine. And it will, you know, some of the leaves will fall off, and
I love a lemon thyme.
Oh, I know, it's so nice. And then we can add in the peppers, pretty color, get those softened a little bit.
Just releasing all that flavor.
And speaking of, we should always add a little salt as you're sauteing things. And then once those get nice and soft, we can add in the garlic. And we don't want to burn the garlic, so you want to make sure that your pan isn't too hot.
What happens when you burn garlic?
It gets really acrid and you have to
It's bitter.
throw it all
Yeah.
out. Yeah. And then we've got our beautiful mussels. We're gonna put those in, they're all closed up.
Is it the heat that makes them open?
Yeah.
Oh, the smell-o-vision is really working miracles here. I can smell the lemon thyme, the garlic. There's a little bit of the chili air.
Yeah. So the steam from the Guinness is going to help to open these guys up. So now we can turn it up a little bit.
Okay.
And then we can put in about half a cup or so.
Are you a Guinness fan?
I do love Guinness. I love a good Guinness.
That
and
sounds
we're gonna
delicious.
cover this. Mussels take no time at all, you know, 3 or 4 minutes. Mussels take no time at all, you know, 3 or 4 minutes.
Do you think they're all done? I think if I look, like most of them are open.
Yep. So we'll put some cream in and just let that go. Thicken
Do you
up a
reduce
tiny
the
bit.
cream with the lid off?
Yeah, a little bit. And this is actually half and half, but you could use cream too. And it just richens up the sauce and makes it delicious. Look at that. Don't you love that sound?
I do love that sound.
That's a funny thing. I love that.
You feel like you're at a wharf, like with some fishermen right around the
Smells like
corner.
we're at a
Yeah.
wharf.
Yum.
Stephanie, do you want to grab some parsley there? We can garnish with it.
Pretty. Ooh, that looks good. Just shower that on there a little bit. They're very garlicky, which is delicious. The texture's a little chewy. A little of the heat from the chili, but not too much. The lemon is kind of working with the lemon thyme. And then the cream just gives it like a little bit of a mouthfeel.
I like the little bit of the red pepper in there. Just a little bit of heat.
Would you make these like on a weeknight or for a party?
You could.
Or
I
even like
do
as
it.
an appetizer?
Yeah, totally. That's what I do. Because everybody, they're gone in a second. It's like when you put shrimp out, everybody eats it in no time. And they're gone.
All right, Sheila, this is quite the feast you have prepared, the Irish feast.
Thank you for helping me.
How did you get into Irish cooking and like how did this become your signature thing?
Well, just going to school there and just wanting to really kind of educate people on the amazing food of Ireland. That's really why. Because
Did you feel like there wasn't enough information out there and that was your special calling?
Yeah, people think it's all boiled and not delicious, and I've never had a bad meal, and I've been there a number of times, and it's amazing. The food is fresh,
So good.
local.
When you thought about this particular menu for today, like did you know exactly what you were gonna cook?
You know, they're just very common, but kind of updated. And
Yeah.
I don't wanna
And
say
it felt
elegant,
modern.
but
Yeah, for sure.
modern.
You saved me a Guinness stout. Now, if you were in Ireland, would it come in the can or would it be on draft?
It would be on tap, yeah. So you kind of want to open it slowly because there's a little nitrate
Yeah.
disc in here.
A nitrate disc, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's
I didn't open mine slowly enough and got it leaked
okay.
all over.
So
Okay, is there technique here?
we'll pour it onto the side. You see the bubbles forming up at the top
Yes, it's very
or on the
multi.
sides, yeah.
You can really
Yeah,
see
isn't
the
that great?
bubbles
oh, yeah,
in
you
there.
did a good one. That's exactly what you're looking for.
Expert Guinness
Yep,
pour.
yep, that was a
feeling
good
like,
pour.
hey, hey.
Slancha
Slancha, we said that before. What does it actually mean?
to your health. Good
To our health, to the good health of the Irish, to the good health of my friend Sheila. All right, so our brown bread, do we put your special sea butter on it?
Let's put our seaweed butter, Dillis butter.
Seaweed.
And then I made the butter with some cream because I think that's fun.
Like your own? Mm-hmm. You churned it.
I did.
Yum. That's why it tastes so good. I was like, wow, is this Irish butter? Have I been missing?
And there's some Irish sea salt in here too.
It's really delicious. I think it was because the idea of lightening it up with the nuts.
Yeah, and the seeds.
Uh-huh, because it really gives it a little, strangely, airier texture.
And I think oats, any kind of oat, when you put an oat in a bread, it just kind of keeps it, damp.
Damp bread, damp! Okay, you're the only one I know that has a class in Irish cooking.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I was trying to open up people's world to Irish food.
This was a really delicious lunch. Thank you for everything and for showing me
Thank you.
all about your heritage and expanding our horizons. Thanks for being my taste bud, Sheila. All right, friends, if you want to learn more about Irish whiskey or the Irish food we made today, the colcannon, the brown bread, the mussels, go to fox9.com/tastebuds. Slancha.
Slancha.
Cheers.